Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the center of Moscow, and welcome to the very famous Park Pobede, or in English, Victory Park. And I thought I'd take you for a walk around the exhibit that is here on Poklonnaya hill. I think most people might have seen it in the news in some form, but I thought I'd give you my take on it as an Australian living here in Moscow. And perhaps some of the things you'll see are what are maybe not on the news, and just a little bit more of an extended walk around. So I hope this is interesting for you. To make it a little bit easier to film, I've come in the last hour on Saturday. Now it's been open for a couple of days, and this is the easiest time to come, either early in the morning or later in the evening, because there's a little bit less people here. So you can see now the security gates are all closed, and whoever's inside is it until the end of the exhibit this evening in about an hour's time from now. I think if you have seen the news recently or watched any kind of social media, perhaps some of the footage of what I'm going to show you might look quite familiar. Obviously, it's not a particularly big exhibit. Obviously, the vehicles and the tanks that are here really are very big, especially when you're up close and next to them. Just for a little bit of context, quite a lot of the military items that you see are actually already on display in Moscow at another place called Park Patriot. And quite a few of these tanks and vehicles were brought from Park Patriot here to Park Pobede for display. So a lot of these have been actually available to view for about a year almost now. As everybody is walking around, you can actually get as close as possible. There's a fence in front of most of the exhibit, and then there's actually signs here where they've actually got information about the tank, and it even tells you down to the exact location in Ukraine where they've actually recovered the vehicle from. I think I really did pick the better time to come in now, a little bit later, because now that the gates are closed, only everyone that's now actually inside is able to stay here until we all walk out, which really will be within about an hour. So slowly you'll see now all of the fenced area. There's nobody here, or very few people. This is a beautiful sunny day today, or was, and there would have been hundreds of thousands of people that have come through the gates today. And now it's a little bit different and a little bit quieter. The one thing that's very interesting perhaps is there's some of the gentlemen here who are talking about the vehicles and talking about their capabilities and their knowledge of the different equipment that we see. And it's really nice. It's like an impromptu lecture about the items and their knowledge about the different things that we're seeing, because of course we can read the signs right here. That's not really a problem, but it's even better if somebody can actually point out something and explain something that you might miss. I almost wish that I came here later when I made my previous video here, because it's such a difference. On my original video, if you've seen it on the channel, I actually came in the morning and it was still rather busy, and now it's emptied out completely, and just a few people who probably arrived late like I did and are still here and walking around. And the sun is set now. It's actually about 7:30 in the evening, but because we're now almost into summer, you get light for much longer here in Moscow, so you can enjoy the evenings, go for a walk in the parks, and come to see an exhibit like this. On the side of all the vehicles, they've got a flag where the vehicle is from. So you can see America, Ukraine. This one right here is from England, the Mastiff. And I think the Bull Mastiff is the well-known dog. So perhaps there is some reason behind naming them after pets, or at least after dogs. Maybe it's something that goes back to some of the previous conflicts around the world. If someone could let me know about that in the comments, it would be definitely interesting. This one is from France. I've actually been to Finland before, and I spent a couple of weeks in a shipyard when I was working on cruise ships, and I didn't actually even know that they had different vehicles until I saw this one here. I think there's definitely an interest and an intrigue in seeing all the vehicles from different countries here, all in the same place in Moscow, and to see them from countries that you probably wouldn't expect to see them from. So if you're not aware of my story, and maybe you're watching this video for the first time, I'm actually an Australian that lives here in Moscow. I've lived here for just about 9 years altogether. I first came here after meeting my now wife. She invited me for a holiday, and basically I never left. And as an Australian, this is probably the hardest thing to see at this exhibit. It's called the Bushmaster. Now, it's quite well known in the last year or so about these vehicles getting sent from Australia, and this is what my tax-paying dollars goes towards. And if you're interested, the price of one of these is $2.4 million. $2.4 million. I've got to repeat that even to myself. And it's sitting here on the street in Moscow. I mean, most of it is pretty much burnt out, especially the top half of the vehicle. And then this bottom half, I mean, the tires are okay. Even there's air in the tires. So how possibly it came to its end, who knows? And then this is one of the few non-motorized objects here. This is the howitzer, the 777 howitzer. And this thing is just huge. Now, I believe it takes 6 or 8 people to operate it. It really is just a big piece of equipment. And it's just awfully interesting that Kutuzovskaya Prospect is right behind where we're standing right here. And then this thing is just sitting right here on the cobblestones here in Park Pobeda. Have a look at the size of the cannon, I think, or turret. It's huge. There's also a couple of Humvees right in front of me. Now this one actually is a soft top version, so I don't know when they possibly drive that around with the weather conditions in this part of the world. And then this one is more of an armored version, and they've got absolutely new tires on them, new wheel nuts. I'm not sure if that's the original license on the front, but this thing could literally just turn around and reverse out and go straight down the highway. If you are new to the channel, I want to thank everybody who's clicking for the first time, and I hope you enjoy the channel going forward, and perhaps some of the old videos on the channel. There is a little bit of a mixed content, but it's mostly about me living here in Moscow and my different adventures that I go on, making videos about life living here in Moscow, and of course they're made in English. So I do hope you're enjoying this video. And if you're already a subscriber, thanks for watching a new video. Perhaps if you are planning to come to this exhibit in the next few weeks, perhaps the good suggestion is to come either in the first hour in the morning or come in the last hour in the evening like I'm here now, because it's literally emptied out and you can get up close and easily look at the vehicles, perhaps take a photo like a lot of people are doing, maybe learn a little bit about the story of each one as you walk around. So you can see now we can get nice and close to this British vehicle, and again, they're in remarkably good condition. There is quite a few of the Ukrainian manufactured vehicles also here, and they mixed in basically with all of the different vehicles from other countries. So there's a little bit of a mixture of vehicles. The one that I'm probably the most interested in, of course, besides the Australian one, there's also one here from South Africa called the Kraken. Now, perhaps if anybody is from South Africa watching, maybe mention in the comments about it. There is actually more information about it, the Mamba Mark II. And then this gentleman again is giving a talk about it and explaining about it, and mostly about some of the features, because even the Russian military have a chance to actually look over these and have a look at some of the design features and see, you know, how they're made basically. Going back a few hours ago when I first got here, the biggest interest by a long way is in the American and German vehicles. And now that everybody's sort of left and cleared out a little bit, you can get as close as you like to them, barring the fence in the way. This is an assault breacher. And this shovel on the front is going to come in handy in the Russian winter now, because this will be able to clear all the roads in one scoop. Perhaps it was used to clear trees or pathways. It definitely came to a bit of a sad ending. There's quite a bit of damage on the upper turret of it, and then all the track has been ripped off it basically as well. There's another American vehicle, and this one also has a scoop on the front, or a clearing platform. I'm not exactly sure when I'm talking about these what it is I'm actually seeing, and I think by a long shot everybody wants to come and see this one here, the Abrams tank, and this thing is absolutely destroyed. You know, the whole vehicle itself is pretty much gone. There is nothing left of the tracks. Even the wheels are completely finished and just in such a condition. And this is how close you can get to an American tank in Moscow. You can almost reach out and touch it if you want to. I mean, literally there's still dirt and dust on it, and there's black charring on the upper turret as well. And still a few people here having a look and checking it out as the sun sets. And then the end of the cannon right here. This thing must have had some sort of incredible hit, or fire at least, to destroy it this much. One more German tank here, the Marder 1A3. And again, this one's in reasonably good condition, so perhaps nothing really bad came of it in the condition it's in now. And then the one that really everybody is also showing a lot of interest in is the Leopard right here. And again, there's a few people kind of gathered around for photos, and everyone's sort of hustling around now to get a picture while there's not as many people here, so you can get in the whole photograph. The Leopard tank, perhaps maybe well known apart from what's going on right now if you play some kind of video games as well. The Leopard 2A6 right here, and everybody is gathering around for a photograph and getting up a little bit close to it. I'm trying my best not to get everybody in the video as I'm walking around. Now, the one thing that somebody told me about this is one of these is about $22 million for one. And it's sitting here in Moscow like this, in such a condition, it's not even comprehensible. $22 million. And then we come back to the other Western vehicles that are on this left-hand side. Now, pretty much I'm going to have a bit of a shorter video because I'm able to get around a lot easier today with less people here. So it's nice and short and perhaps a little bit more easier to watch. Again, the Humvee. I thought for my short outro of the video I'd climb to the top of Poklonnaya hill right here. Now just in front of us is the metro station Poklonnaya. Very interesting station. If you ever get a chance to come in or out of that station, it's got a 3-minute long escalator that's 127 meters long. You can see off in the distance the very well-known skyline of Moscow city. You can walk from here to there in about 45 minutes, depending on how brisk and eager you are. And then we can see the grassed area here, and then the boulevard, that is Park Pobede, or Victory Park as it's known locally. And there's quite a few different monuments set up. There's also a couple of churches here as well. And then we can actually see the display they've got set up. Now, it's worked out a little bit better that I waited to film in the last hour because there was not that many people. And at the end we were a little bit ushered out because we can't stay there all night, of course. But there's a good view of all the vehicles from back here, and a lot of people coming for a walk in the park generally, and they can actually still see from the fences all the different military equipment. Thanks everybody for watching this particular video. If you're new to the channel, I hope you found it enjoyable, or at least informative, and maybe something that you haven't seen in other videos or on the news perhaps, and my perspective as I walked around and showed some of the different vehicles and tanks that were on display. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to post a comment about something that you might have seen, or some of the different questions that I might have asked, you can do that in the comments below. Then if you might want to chat to me on Telegram, or perhaps look at some of my content that I post there on a daily basis, there's a link. And then if you want to see an old video on the channel, something perhaps a little bit different that you haven't seen on the channel before, or if you're new here, click this link now and you'll see an old video from the channel. Thanks everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.